I tried to learn about Ethiopia for about a month. So this is why I'm learning about it, because there is talks of a new conflict maybe forming in the Tigray region. And this is me looking at Ethiopian music, and this is information about Eritrean troops committing violence against women in Tigray. But there's a lot of hostilities in the Tigrayan region, and a lot of clashes between groups. So that's information on that. And this is repression against freedom of expression. This is journalists facing harassment. They arbitrarily arrested at least 6
I'm
journalists.
allowed to do that.
The
It's
Ethiopian government.
I love doing news
There's
and
been
political commentary.
inflation, rising external debt, and a cost of living crisis. Also, and public health workers have been trying to demand better pay and improved working conditions. And authorities cracked down against protesting and are striking health workers. Also, there are forced evictions in Addis Ababa, which is the capital of Ethiopia. Escalating violence within the country and also outside of the country has brought about a lot of displaced people. You can see here, there's people from South Sudan, Somalia, Eritrea, Sudan, within the country. So Ethiopians are have a large amount of people that are Ethiopian Tewahedo Orthodox. And this is Habesha, which refers to the general region of Ethiopia and Eritrea. And this is about the Ge'ez language and alphabet. And this is more about the 80 different ethnic groups within Ethiopia. It's a very, very diverse place. It's actually I think it's like where we found the first remnants of modern humans, if I'm not sure. I know it's definitely around where we originated. So this is more information on the different ethnic groups within Ethiopia. And this is Abyssinia, which is basically the empire that Ethiopia used to be. And this is more information on Ethiopian culture in general, like how the people are. And this is more of the political history of the country. Haile Selassie was overthrown by a coup in 1974, and a military government known as the Derg was established in place, and it was a socialist state. And then multiple conflicts and government-sanctioned violence resulted in hundreds of thousands of deaths and large internal and external displacement as the people fled the country. And in 1991, a coalition of rebel groups succeeded in overthrowing the Derg. In the same year, Eritrea gained independence from Ethiopia. And political tensions between Ethiopia and Eritrea were not resolved, and in 1998, a war erupted as the two countries contested the decisions over the border. And it created rigid borders where it had been more fluid before. And Ethiopia and Eritrean people share a more common Habesha identity. So this is more on Ethiopian culture in general. They value education. Children are also usually expected to help with work. There's sort of a collectivist aspect to their society where they help each other out. And they also get out and about and socialize a lot. And they're usually very welcoming and calm, very non-confrontational, very considerate of how others feel, and very reluctant to talk about their own emotions. So I was wondering where the most Ethiopians in America are, so I searched that up. And then I looked at those places and looked for Ethiopian restaurants to visit if I ever go there, or just Ethiopian places. So in Washington, there are a lot of Ethiopian places. As you can see, yeah. And you zoom in and there's just even more. So I put all of these restaurants on a list to visit whenever I go to Washington. There's also a significant amount of Ethiopian restaurants in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I tried to find some Habesha-owned brands and then specifically look at the Ethiopian ones. And these are all owned by women on this website. And these all look really cool. Most of the jewelry is gold though, so, and I'm not really a gold type of person. I usually wear silver. And there was a store on here that sold a calendar in Giz. So this is a video on the Toledo Church, and sorry if I'm not pronouncing that well. So, and where's it going to talk about it? I think this might just be on Orthodox Christianity in general. I'm pretty sure it's on Toledo. There we go. This is a really interesting video. Look how pretty the art is. That's another thing I've learned is that Ethiopian art in general. Well, I really like historical art, so I was looking at a lot of historical. Oh, this isn't Religion for Breakfast. My bad, I got them confused with another channel. Anyways, I really like historical Ethiopian art. Like, look at this church that was literally carved out of the ground. And that wasn't, like, there wasn't just one like that. It's multiple churches like that. Oh, also, coffee is from Ethiopia. What? Like, oh, and it's not just like a one and done thing for them. They have coffee rituals. Like, it's very important to them. And I like that. I like that they, like, savor this thing that we usually go out and about and just do very quickly. Look how beautiful this is. What is this about? Oh, this is by OSP. This is their video on Ethiopia. So I thought it was pretty cool. And I learned that Ethiopia is the only country in Africa to never be fully colonized by Europe. And then I learned about the Ethiopian royal dynasty or lineage. And this is a BBC documentary. I'm gonna let y'all read what he's saying. Yeah, this is an interesting title from BBC. Rare Ethiopian text linked to Hogwarts. It wasn't actually linked to Hogwarts though. It's just an Ethiopian text for spells and magic. Oh, and this, look at how pretty this wolf is. This is a very endangered Ethiopian wolf. That's just the name of it, the Ethiopian wolf, at least in English. And it's because they've been getting diseases from local dogs, I'm pretty sure. That's why I picked up from this documentary. Look at how pretty they are. And then I looked at the different ecosystems within Ethiopia. Thought that was really cool. And then I learned more about the potentiality for a war in Ethiopia. And there's the title of the video. It's by Al Jazeera. And then I watched another one on that. I'm pretty sure both of these videos were made quite some time ago. But it was still really informative. So I learned more about the Ethiopian calendar and the Ethiopian, what's it called? Okay, basically Ethiopia's religious makeup. There we go. They used to have a significant amount of Jewish people in Ethiopia, but a lot of them moved to Israel. So I learned that a lot of Ethiopian Christians don't eat meat on certain days. So I decided to add that to my calendar. I had trouble following it though because I didn't set it as like a notification reminder, but I will say I did actually try to do this. I did try. But anyways, there's concern that Muslims are kind of suppressed in Ethiopia. So I learned about how Ethiopian Muslims have attachments to Sufism, how a lot of Ethiopians believe in the evil eye. And I've heard of the evil eye. I know it's a concept and not just a like the common blue glass bead people think of. But I didn't know for sure what it was all about, the concept. And this is people taking care of bees inside of a church in Ethiopia. And I thought this was so beautiful. This was a really calming video to watch. Look how beautiful that is. And this is just more of me learning about the general culture of Ethiopia. And then learning about those traits that they have. So this is me learning how to be non-confrontational and more empathetic. Yeah. More considerate. I really like this video. This is another video on how to be more considerate that I found. And there's the title. And I really try to make sure y'all got that title. Okay. This is me attempting Inkulal Furfur. And I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. This was pretty good. And this is me looking at some more Ethiopian churches and learning how those work. The Inkulal Furfur, by the way, I don't know if I made it that well. And it was eggs with some onions and veggies. And this is me going to the Ethiopian subreddit. This is me looking for some Ethiopian books to check out. This one isn't by an Ethiopian, it's by a journalist, but he learned a significant amount of Ethiopian to write the book, so it's a little more trustworthy. Also, by the way, Ethiopians that are Christians wake up super early for church. This one's the prayers start at 4 a.m. That's crazy. They're dedicated, bro. And I actually got an email back from one of these churches to learn about Ethiopian culture. And these are the books I got. Okay, this is me trying to make another Ethiopian dish. I got all the ingredients ready. I didn't have beri beri, which is like a spice they use a lot, because I just thought, well, I have a bunch of spices that are already in that, and I don't want to buy the mix when I could just use the spices that are in it. But you grind up the onions and the garlic, and you make a paste, and that added ginger because I didn't have raw ginger. And you let it cook, and then you add the spices. I think I let it cook too long, and then I added tomato paste and lentils that I had soaked. Then I let that just cook for a while. And it's red lentils. And then I added rice, but I think I didn't get all the water out of the rice because I was ready to eat. And this is me learning about the languages of Ethiopia. And I mapped them out. And that was it. I'm probably going to go to an Ethiopian restaurant too sometime.